Hey guys, Narayani here. Hello, happy spring equinox. I want to share with you today about the power of spring equinox and how to work with this time in a way that balances your inner and your outer energies. So spring equinox is the time where the sun is returning, going back to the longest days at the summer solstice. And after summer solstice, right, the nights get longer. And then at spring equinox and fall equinox, we have balance between the night and day energy. So how does that apply to you? The energies of the universe and you, as you know, if you're watching this, are not separate. So how you feel inside and what's happening outside is directly connected. When you're working with natural healing and you are aware, as most of my community is, that really all of my community is, that we are all connected. We are able to work with astrology. We're able to work with the energy of the times, of the way that the waves of humanity are celebrating and are grieving, the way that we are waking up and where we're falling asleep and where there's dormancy and where we feel movement. And it affects us, it impacts us, and we have a chance to reflect ourselves in relation to whatever is going on. So from this awareness on spring equinox, we can look at the theme of balance. So we've been increasing light to the point where the night and the days are of equal length. And so what we want to do is look at where can we connect to the night, the inner, and the day, the outer, within ourselves, within our lives, whether you have a healing practice or your service is your family. If you're awake and you're waking up, you know that how you feel directly affects your environment and vice versa. What we want to do as we grow into service and walk in balance more and more is to find the fullness of what is possible to be able to return to balance and do it in a way that is authentic for you. So as you know, everything you do personally affects the collective. And if you're looking at the world just affecting you all the time, you will not be able to stay in balance. It's equally as important to see you giving and you receiving. So if you're always affected by the world and by how everything is around you in the world, and that determines your state of being, you're probably absorbing way more energy than you need to stay in balance. If you feel that you're creating and you're contributing and you're giving is matching what you're receiving, that would be a place to look at a state of balance, just for the sake of assessment. So for example, if you're somebody who feels like you're always giving and nobody's giving to you, guess what? That is an imbalance that was created actually by you and can be so corrected by you. The way that we begin to correct is through taking responsibility for our own stuff and working with tools and strategies that support sustainable awakening. And that's what I work with. That's what I offer, particularly for healers and those of you that are awake. So I'm here in this mountain studio. I've just returned from this epic leadership training and really been able to look at some of my stories and how to flip them so that I can really celebrate my own grieving. As most of you know, my partner passed last July. I'm still in the year ceremony of grieving. And in that, I have a chance to look at what I need to continue to come into balance of receiving support and love in my own healing process with the giving and generosity that I offer my practice, my family, and my community. So on the spring equinox, I invite you to look at what is it that you are lacking? Are you absorbing too much? Are you giving too much? Are you giving so much to try to get and not actually letting in what it is that you need so that you can fill your cup and overflow? Or are you in balance? You take care of yourself, you work. Most people I know, we need to keep refining. We have, especially in this time, I was going to say this part of the world, but I feel like it's global. In this time, we've gone so out of balance with the yin through disregarding Mother Earth and abusive, aggressive behavior. That's where people are talking about the patriarchy, the masculine dominance and control. And we have an opportunity on this spring equinox to return to a beautiful balance of feminine and masculine energy. It's a great time to set your prayers. Everything that manifests in the physical starts in the spiritual. So you can affect the physical through the spiritual, and you can also affect the spiritual through the physical. It goes both ways. It's a balance between the heavens and the earth within your own heart. So those of you that are on the path of heart awakening and service of the heart, do work with your central channel, which is the rainbow energy, and connect to what your thing is that's off. Have you been giving way too much? Have you been not receiving enough? And if you have not been receiving enough, maybe it's time to book a massage. Maybe it's time to hire a coach. Myself, I am offering I'm opening up some new slots for mentorship. I have 5 slots open for those of you that want to receive more support in your path of service. In my prayers of getting out of the way and to be of service, I found myself in this position of working with healers who want to serve in a way that's sustainable. So if you've been following my work for a while, you know this about my message. What is your message? And do you feel like you are receiving all the support that you need in order to support your family and support this great awakening at this time? If you don't have a coach, or if you're not working with a coach, or you're not working with a mentor and you're stuck, I invite you to look at people that do work with coaches and mentor and see how their lives are going. And I, for one, I just hired a new whole community of coaches that's kind of in one package, one new coach with a community of support to help me to birth my book, birth the higher self-embodiment training, and to help me plan strategy, because I've been in such a deep grief that I've been kind of in contraction. And now as I start to emerge with the season of the spring more slowly in this last part of this cycle, I need time to grieve and also work. And so in that, I find that having community and having specific accountability support is what I need in order to grow and expand and move forward with my vision. So if this speaks to you and you are curious about getting more support, I invite you to apply below. Should be able to get that bulletin below, unless you're on the computer, it might be on that side or that side, but if your phone, it's below. And I don't have the prices for mentorship. What I do is first I want to find out what your intention is. If you're open to mentorship, if you're serious about it and you want accountability support as well as training in energy mastery and healing for the sake of clearing your past, getting present, and manifesting your future path of service. So if that speaks to you, apply. I'd love to hear from you. And then if I feel like your application really is a good match, I'll reach back out to you and we'll set up a little chat and we can talk about details and decide together. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Take care of yourself. Know that you're loved. Mwah. Namaste.